We're in for a pretty good game, I reckon. Two teams that are in pretty good form. We've got OHA, who are the minor premiers, defending premiers, and Derwent, who have been in exceptional form in the last 4 weeks. Won through their elimination final and then through their preliminary last week. Yeah, I think we're in for an absolutely cracking game.
Yeah, certainly are. Derwent timing their run, as you said, very well. Scott coming through with a lot of momentum into this grand final. And OHA, of course, going the easy way, winning their prelim against Northwest Graduates and going straight through into the final. So it'll be a cracking game here in some pretty typical spring conditions. We always see here at the Hockey Centre, rain coming over the mountain, weather warnings, so it should be an absolute cracker, and I think the most composed team today will get the job done.
Yeah, we're just having a look at the OHA squad on your screen there. You can see it's a very young team. There's a few experienced old heads there. Sarah McCambridge, Eloise Crombie, who just returned to the side this year, and she's been in great form. I think she's got 8 goals so far this season, so a very handy pickup for OHA up forward. And Georgina Carter has also rejoined the side this year and has been a really important part of their defensive setup. But otherwise, they've got some really young, talented players who are on the cusp of dominating this competition for the next 15 years. So they've already got 1 premiership in the bag last year, and I wouldn't be surprised if they rack up another 10 or more over the next decade.
Yeah, certainly a scary thought with that OHA team, who have so much experience already and yet somehow seem to have a heap of young, talented youngsters coming through. So no doubt we'll be calling their names a lot in the future. Also going to have a look at the Derwent lineup, bringing another experienced squad into today's game.
Yeah, the mix on the Derwent side is a little bit different to the OHA side. There is a little bit more experience in that group, and some of their younger players are a little bit older. So the likes of Louise Maddock, Molly Hayes, over that 20 age range now, so they've had experience at Premier League. But I look at the likes of Jess Cotton, Jana Van Blatteren, Janelle Featherstone, and Amelia Spence. Very talented, experienced group there, core group, that are going to take this side a fair way into this game.
Yeah, certainly there's going to be some really exciting matchups that I think we'll go through a little later on, Scott, but it's going to be a cracker game, especially in that midfield battle. And Molly Hayes has been in some outrageous form up front, especially in this final series, so I can't wait to see what she is going to pull out. Obviously a big game player. Yeah,
it took her a little while to get some form this season. I think she played a little bit deeper in the midfield at the start of the year and didn't have quite as many opportunities in front of goal. But certainly from the second half of the season onwards, when she's been part of that Tigers group and training at the high level, she's certainly found form, and her last 4 weeks, her last month, has been exceptional. I think it's 8 goals in the last 4 games alone, so she's red hot.
Great. Well, let's have a look at our starting lineups. We'll have a look at Derwent first and see who we've got here. Interesting matchups, who's playing where. As we can see, Amelia Spence leading her troops out onto the field. She will be playing in the midfield today, centre half. It'll be an interesting midfield battle between her and McCambridge for OHA. Hayes up front, Rockefeller, Dobby, all very dangerous last week. And you've got Canning and Westland running through the midfield. And then the solid back line with the experience of Van Blatteren and Cotton there with Featherstone and Maddock.
Yeah, and then certainly looking to seeing how Louise Maddock handles a huge grand final day as the key defender in that Derwent side.
Let's have a quick look at the OHA before we get underway. We said we've got McCambridge there in the midfield on Spence. That'll be a truly entertaining battle all day, with a lot of experience up front and in the back line as well, with McDonald, Krumink and Richard. So a stellar battle about to get underway here at the Tasmanian Hockey Centre. Down to hit off in the Women's 2021 Premier League Grand Final between OHA and Derwent.
Early win there for Maddie Brooks on the ball. Gets it out to McLeod. Is just held up inside the 23. Maddie Brooks, the winner of the 2021 Association Best and Fairest. She is not even 18 years old yet. And she's probably going to win that award for the next 20 years, possibly. That's the amount of talent that she's got, but she's out there on the ball early. There's Crombie coming through. Good ball to the top of the circle. Chance for OHA early. That is Maddie Brooks over the ball. Onto a reverse. Great tackle from Amelia Spence. Still going. Taylor Brooks now chasing the ball. Beth Dobby's going to beat everyone to it. She's got a good set of wheels on her, and an interesting moment there. We saw Amelia Spence and Madison Brooks go head-to-head for a second, and probably a draw, maybe slightly in favour of Spence.
Just the courage from Spence there in the first minute of the game, putting body on the line there, getting inside the swing of Brooks and making the block. That's going to provide a lot of inspiration for her Derwent teammates, I think. So a hot start here. A lot of courage showed. Van Blader now on the ball. Throws inboard. Can't get through OHA though. Turnover.
Molly Hayes quickly takes the free hit straight down that right wing. And we saw this a couple of weeks ago too. Hayes really attacking down the right wing and making a lot out of that position. She's quite strong on her forestick. Westland attempts to go directly in, but Belle Krumink with an important touch just to knock it over the baseline. Spence over the top at the moment. Looking for Dobby. Just hanging around the top of this circle now. Westland wants to go directly in. And a little bit wide. OHA defence just cutting down the lines for the Derwent attack.
A couple of big names there for Derwent from last week. Westland and Dobby providing a lot of drive in the second half. There's Westland again. Gives it to Spence inside. We don't want to give her too much space and time early.
Good ball from Canning on a reverse. There's still danger in the circle too. Molly Hayes is over the top. She's been crunched in a tackle and has won a penalty corner. And we say it every time when there's an early penalty corner, but a really important moment here for OHA and Michelle. Derwent, pretty solid start for them, earning a penalty corner this early in the match.
Yeah, they're zipping the ball around quite quickly. You can see their urgency in getting the ball going as well. Just a few tough tackles in the circle there, but the penalty corner really well fought out.
So the injection's coming from Spence. Maddock wants to have a direct hit. The trap wasn't great. McCambridge is the first runner, goes and steals it. Wants to continue on as well, wins the free hit in the middle of the park instead. So successful first run there from Sarah McCambridge. Shuts down Derwent's first attempt from a penalty corner.
She's so good at that. Chance here for Derwent. They've really got that urgency in them. They are getting at every contest nice and early. But yeah, just saying before, Sarah McCambridge is great at that first running position. She's so quick. So Derwent might just have to look for some variations today to go to the left or the right.
Here is McCambridge again against Spence. She wins this battle first. Tries to put the ball into the circle. I think she was looking for Mcleod, just hanging around that 23. Sophie Mcleod's going to have a really important role today. She seems to be playing that pivot centre forward role. Looks like she's going to be receiving the ball with her back to goal and try to feed in her wingers inside the circle. OHA just giving up there. Westland seen a little bit of the ball early, and she's going to be an important player for Derwent as well today. Early one from Cotton. Touched on by Rockefeller. Dobby's got a little bit of space to work with, but it's shut down straight away by Hannah Richards, and that one was over the baseline before she got the cross in.
It's definitely going to be a battle of the midfields today. Just looking at the matchups here, we've got some very talented players in there. They're going to be wanting to get the ball, get and give, but also I think a lot of these girls will back themselves to take their opponent one-on-one as well.
And as someone who has played a significant number of grand finals at this level, Michelle, how important is a really good start in these type of matches?
Yeah, I mean, goes without saying, I think, just to get the tempo up, and it's always good to have scoreboard pressure in a grand final. In comes Amelia Spence. Oh, she's so dangerous. I've played many grand finals against Amelia Spence, and that's a sign that was something you don't want to see, her coming in full steam, because she's very dangerous on her forestick and her reverse, and has shown it this year.
Yeah, great to see Spence back. OHA under a fair bit of pressure these last 90 seconds. Derwent got the high press on and not letting them through, although the ball does spill nicely for Gunn. She wants to get going. She's only got one ahead of her, and that's Mcleod, and she's got 4 Derwent defenders blocking her path. She's into the circle, and it will be a 23 restart for OHA. So they've managed to take it right up the other side of the field very quickly. Canning, important intercept. We've seen Derwent make a number of intercepts so far in these opening couple of minutes shows that they're up and about, and it's I think it's safe to say that that's clearly been an early strategy from coach Keegan Popovsky, who said get in their faces early and try and get your stick on every possible ball you can, just to prevent them from getting anything loose or free in their front half.
Yeah, Scott, it seems like it could be a battle of turnovers today. Both teams just looking forward on the counter-attack. See Van Bladeren throwing it down the line. Rockefeller can't reel it in. Yeah, it looks like it could be a game of turnovers today, whoever can get the fast break. But I can't help but feeling we're seeing a contest that's for the future. There's a lot of young players here that are almost just feel like at the start of their career, and we could be calling these two teams in grand finals for many, many years to come. There's OHA using it round the back.
Yeah, we really saw it start back in 2019 when these two sides went head-to-head in the grand final. What many consider as one of the greatest games, one of the greatest grand finals ever played at the Tasmanian Hockey Centre. Derwent were victorious 5-4 in that 2019 grand final, so there is perhaps a little bit of payback on the cards for OHA, but we saw a number of these young players get their first taste of grand final hockey in that match, and a couple of years later we see the likes of Emily Rockefeller and the Brooks twins for OHA with that finals experience now, getting another taste today. Derwent bring it out to the right, Van Bladeren. Good pick up from Westland. Wants to attack down the right through McCambridge, and McCambridge just puts the body in the way and only lets the ball or the player goes past, never both, is the old defensive adage. Westland stuck in the corner, not too many options in front of her either. Wants to go herself, wins a free hit.
Certainly active early, Westland. She's providing a lot of penetration down the right-hand side with balls into the circle. Likes to sort of catch the defence off guard with a quick ball in. So interested to see what sort of influence she has today on that right side. This time goes out to Van Bladeren, who just does that, puts it straight into the circle. Intercepted though, but it's going to be another Derwent ball on the halfway line.
Yeah, Belle Krumick with the intercept there, and she's been really important in these first 5 or 6 minutes for OHA. A number of intercepts, a number of important touches in that defensive third. You just get the feeling that she's going to play a key role today, especially in this first quarter, if the game is going to fall in OHA's favour.
Derwent with a deep transfer around the back. Canning. With a run now, she's looking inside. He got Spence with a little bit too much space, I think, for OHA. Good turnover there, though. Now it's McCambridge. Can't get it through Canning. Derwent regain possession. McCambridge just serving as a solid brick wall out there, and there's Spence right near her. We're going to be calling that contest all day today, and I'm excited. It's 0-0 at this stage, but I'm excited to see those two play. Michelle, you would have played a lot against both McCambridge and Spence. What are sort of the strengths of each of the players, and how do they differ?
Yeah, they're both very quick and they're both very fit, but they're also very tough competitors. So I think that's probably one thing with both of them. They will both want the ball just as much as each other. So it's definitely going to be a battle to watch. There's Spence on that dangerous reverse stick. Derwent are probably having the better of the attack at the moment. I would say I think I said at the start when I first came on here, and I noticed it last week in the preliminary against Northwest. They made Northwest look quite slow, and Northwest, not just saying this because I used to play for Northwest, but I wouldn't have thought they would be too slow, but they're looking very quick. Lauren Canning looking dangerous through the midfield here.
Yes, it should be a good battle today. Both teams turning over a little bit. Rockefeller finding herself a little bit of space, but McCambridge is hot on her tail. Good strength from Rockefeller, dropping it back to Westland. Westland has Spence inside if she can get it there. She does so now. Derwent attacking on a 45 to the circle. Krumink with a solid defence there for OHA, manages to gain back possession.
OHA defence standing strong at the back here. Some really good flat stick tackles in the last few minutes. They are under the pump though. Derwent are coming quite hard.
You are hearing the thoughts of Michelle Cooling, 3-time Premiership Northwest Graduates player. As Derwent's defence tested here. Ball bouncing around a little bit in the midfield. Derwent come away with it. Rockefeller, but another turnover. Mcleod. Both teams just a little bit clumsy in the middle, but it's going to be OHA coming away with it. But an umpire has called the infringement on the far side. You were listening to comments from Michelle Cooling, 3-time Northwest Grads Premiership player and Van Diemen legend. Michelle, good to have you in the box today and get some insight into these two teams.
I probably wouldn't use the word legend, but always a privilege to represent my state. Feels like a while ago now, but yeah, it's very exciting as someone that's obviously played hockey for Tasmania for a while, and I'm still very invested. It's great to see so much talent out there today. There's some very talented young players out there. One who's just passed right now to Sophie Mcleod, who has a shot at goal, and Eloise Douay, fantastic goal. Crombie, sorry, she was Douay when I played with her. Eloise Crombie, first goal of the 2021 Grand Final. What a fantastic shot at goal.
Well, what a great ball in there, and McLeod just with a great trap and turn with the first shot, and then the save, and Crombie finishing up well. And all of a sudden, against the flow of play, OHA are up 1-0 in this grand final, with only a few minutes left to play in the first quarter.
She's so dangerous up there, Eloise. She's always been a goal scorer, and you cannot beat experience in a grand final situation. And, you know, we've been saying Derwent have had the majority of the play, but a couple of experienced heads there. Sophie Mcleod and Eloise Crombie combining with a little bit of Maddie Brooks magic as well, and all of a sudden it's 1-0 and Derwent are chasing their tails.
Westland here now with a little bit of space on the right-hand side. She doesn't have too much ahead of her, so she's going to try and cut inside. Can't do though, finds OHA sticks. Crombie, the goal scorer, trying to hit it out of defence, but can't do so. Westland now, ball direct in, and OHA with the numbers. Westland again just somehow keeps getting it back. It's like she's got a magnet on her stick. Finds Dobby in the circle, crosses it, can't get full of it. Here it is again, Westland tumbling around, and it's a short corner for Derwent. Well, that is a good response from Derwent after just going down 1-0. Westland continues to have a really, really big impact on this game, and it's Derwent's chance to equalise here with only a few minutes to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, one thing I note early though is Derwent's attacks, and we see here their shots earning that penalty corner. They're coming from very, very wide, and they don't have a great angle on goal. We saw OHA's goal came as a result of going much more direct, and we saw Eloise Crombie get a great chance almost right on the spot to put that away first. Oh, and Amelia Spence back to injector. She's put it straight into the side of the goal, so Derwent much better on that penalty corner this time. Great opportunity there, but yeah, certainly OHA have that 1-goal lead, but it doesn't feel like they're really in front just yet.
Westland now, Spence, got to find a way to the back stick into the circle. She'll be looking for a shot or something across the face. It's all OHA in the circle, but unfortunately it's hit a foot on the way out, and it's going to be another Derwent penalty corner. Scott, that Spence slapped back to injector there in the last penalty corner. I think she'd be very disappointed that didn't go in. She had a little bit of time and space there. And to hit sideboard, obviously it's easy to say up here, but I think that will be a missed opportunity early in this game.
No, it's very easy to sit up here and say that was a very poor shot from former hockey room, Amelia Spence.
That's why I'm up here. That's why I'm up here, Scott. Easy to say.
But you're right, it's a great opportunity in the grand final, and you're not going to get too many, although they do have a penalty corner here. Westland's gone to the left. A little bit of a variation. It's a straight shot. OHA defence holds up that time as well. But I will keep referring back to that 2019 grand final between these sides again, because it was Amelia Spence, player of the grand final. I think it was 3 incredible goals, one from a very tight angle, so she can score from there, don't worry.
Yeah, if there's one player that you'll let have a shot at any part of the circle, it's probably Amelia. She's definitely got the X factor. And I don't know if she's played the whole season, Scott. You probably know more so than me, but she's looking in great form.
Yeah, she's come back from ankle surgery, and she did miss most of the season. She came back for the last 5 or 6 games. Certainly took her a couple of games just to find her feet, so to speak. But her last few weeks have been absolutely incredible. Her speed and skill through the middle of the park is devastating, and she's still got 3 quarters to make an influence here, and Derwent press the circle again, press Evie Dalton's pads in the OHA net and win their 4th penalty corner, I believe.
Another fantastic reverse stick hit into the circle, and they just look energised, Derwent, and you think you know, based on numbers, one of these is going to go in at some point. This is maybe their 4th penalty corner, 4th or 5th.
Yeah. Going for Maddock again. It's a better trap from Cotton, and it is just wide. I thought the defender might have just got a touch on that one, but Maddock has put her shot just wide. 5 goals, I think, Louise Maddock this season. I think they've all come from penalty corners. She's got a really solid penalty corner hit, but yeah, 4th or 5th penalty corner, another missed opportunity, and certainly Derwent might rue that as Julia Gunn finds a little bit of space to run out on the right wing. She beats Maddock over the 23 into the circle. She's taken out as well. Maddock just swung the stick across the front of Gunn as she was into the circle, and to be honest, might have been lucky not to give away a penalty stroke in that situation.
Yeah, poor Louise Maddock. She's down one end, having a crack, and then 10 seconds later, she's having to keep up with Julia Gunn. But such a good run from Gunn. Just held the ball strongly. Didn't need to throw it away. Backed her strength going in there, and did enough to know that the error was going to come from the Derwent defence to force that penalty corner.
Julia Gunn, of course, has had a brilliant season. The competition leading goal scorer. She's got 24 so far, and she's got one more game to add to that tally as well. She injects here from the penalty corner. It's Krumik with a straight hit. The ball was loose, and Gunn came flying through to try and get the rebound, but I believe it might have been dangerous early on to have 2 highly experienced and talented umpires out there to judge those things as well. We've got Nicole Jeeves on the far side, and we've got Casey Ponting on the broadcast side, so the game is in good hands in terms of officiating out there today. Spence deep in her own half now. Gunn harassing her, gives away a free hit as the siren sounds for the end of the first quarter, and it is OHA with a 1-0 lead thanks to a goal to Eloise Crombie in the 11th minute. Michelle, probably a bit too early to say one team's got it over the other, but how important is that early goal?
Yeah, I think OHA will go into the break very not lucky. I think Derwent can be quite positive after the first quarter. They've definitely had their chances, and it could be quite easily 1-1 going into this first break. So I think that, you know, OHA will be pleased that they've got that scoreboard pressure, but I definitely don't think that they, you know, should come out too, trying to think of the word that I'm looking for. I think Derwent can easily come back into this. They've had so many chances. And
when Crombie came back into this side, it was remarked that she could actually be the key to them winning the premiership, just because she added that extra experience up forward, and I think it has allowed the likes of Julia Gunn and Maddie Brooks to free themselves up a little bit and play the type of seasons that they have, just having that extra experienced player out on the park with them.
Yeah, I think it makes such a difference, and a lot of these girls would have played under Sue Brooks. So Maddie and Taylor's mum for many years, she sort of patrolled the back line for OHA, and they would have got a lot of learnings from her. So now they're passing it on to that next generation. It's really exciting from an OHA point of view.
And I should say a shout out to Dr. Phoebe Stewart, who's watching on. She did make a nice little comment about the talent behind the mic, more so your talent, Michelle, than anyone else's. But nice to have you joining the broadcast, Phoebe.
Second grade premiership player last night. Congratulations to Phoebe and the whole Northwest Graduates second grade women's team. Well, I think the nerves of the first quarter will have gone away now, and both these teams settle in to this contest. Probably Derwent with the run of the play in the first quarter, but it was OHA with that classy goal with a combination of Mcleod and Crombie. And it's going to be OHA up in attack now. Brooks can't find a way in, but wins the free. Chesterman over the ball. Quick one to Brooks down the line. Turns, hits it straight in. Keeper deals with it, but it's going to come off a Derwent stick there from Spence. And will be a long corner for OHA.
Yeah, so Chesterman is also one who came back into the side late in the season, so she's only been here for a month or so. Got enough games during the regular season to qualify to play in this final, but she's been an important addition to this side. She was a part of the 2019 Tassie Tigers squad. I don't think she managed to play a game, but she's certainly in around that squad back then. And so for OHA to add her to the mix as well, coming into the finals, I think has been really useful for them, especially along that half-back line.
Yeah, OHA certainly seem to have a lot of depth through that sub-bench, rotating a lot of players and with a lot of confidence as well, which is always a handy thing for Coach Sam and Sister Sarah McCambridge. It's nice to have confidence in your bench that they can come on and do a job, which is where Jess Chesterman has come from today. OHA in possession though. It's going to be theirs again after foot. We can see the rain and wind starting to come down here, but in typical Tassie fashion, I'm sure in 5 minutes it'll be too hot and everyone will be getting the sun cream out.
Certainly feels like it's going to blow over quickly, but it is going to be annoying for the next 5 or so minutes at least, with that combination of rain and wind. And it's a cold rain and wind, even though it has been relatively warm the last couple of days. There's nothing pleasant about what's coming in terms of the weather over Hobart today. Maddie Brooks coming through the midfield. She's tackled by Amelia Spence. Spence wants to go. We've seen this many times before. Skips past 1, 2, 3. Spence now stuck out on the left, and McCambridge runs her down. Spence wins it back. Fascinating battle between these two super talented, dominant players of Tasmanian hockey at national level and club level for the past 10 years.
Oh, that was good to see, Scott. McCambridge initially got beaten by Spence, but just the power and fitness to get back into the contest and then force the turnover later on. It is going to, as I've said it before, be a very exciting battle all day today. See Bailey over the ball here for Derwent. Wants to go up the line. Race is on, but I think it'll be too far out in front of Dobby, so it's going to go out for a restart for OHA.
Just a bit of a speculative effort there from Ruby Bailey, who has also come back into the sport. She didn't play the first half of the season. She's back in this team, and now she gets a grand final opportunity too. So it's good to see Ruby Bailey back out there for Derwent.
Well, both of these clubs, OHA and Derwent, are in the women's and men's Premier League finals, so they're obviously doing something right at Clubland, and it'll be an exciting day for both of those two clubs. Bailey now with the ball. Has Dobby up the line if she wants it. Throws it inside. Westland back outside now. Bailey finds Rockefeller in the circle there, looking for a penalty corner, and gets it with great strength. Well done, Derwent, on that right-hand side. We had Dobby and Westland and Bailey combining, and that was a really good little bit of strength for Derwent on that right-hand side.
Yeah, it was a good roll and receive and roll, and then Rockefeller just remained strong on the ball. May force Georgie Carter into a bit of a rough tackle there, and the penalty corner awarded.
I like that though. Make them earn it. If you're going to give away a penalty corner.
100%.
That's Derwent's 5th penalty corner of the game here. Bit of a mistimed hit, but still forcing a save. It's going to be a Derwent long corner.
They've gone for that direct shot a couple of times now. Derwent, obviously Louise Maddox got a very good hit. She just mistimed that one slightly, but
sometimes those mistimed shots can force the keepers into uncomfortable saves. Ball into the circle. Rockefeller can't trap. OHA is going to win the race here. Ooh, looks like the stick of Rockefeller's come out of her hand there, and she's earned the free hit. It's Hayes over it. She's been dangerous on the right all of these final series. Cannot give her an inch. Doesn't have a lot of options. Wants to dribble her 5 and force a free and auto play. Does so now. Autos. Westland into the circle and earns a penalty corner. Westland, we've called her name so often this afternoon already, and it's only the second quarter. She's been doing a great job and earns yet another penalty corner for Derwent, and that's their 6th now. Michelle.
I think I said in the first quarter, surely one of these is going to go in at some point. So we're up to number 6 now. We'll see what Derwent are thinking with it. Will they keep going with the straight shot variation? Back to Spence could be on here.
As we see Spence inject now. Ball gets put back into the circle. Rockefeller with some space. Can she find a foot? No, there's a shot there. Rockefeller's going to get onto it. Back to goal though, has to find herself in a better position. Oh, well defended, OHA. Composure there when they're under a lot of pressure in the circle, but managed to keep low, keep their sticks low. Dobby now, though, finds a way into the circle. Oh, Brooks with a good tackle will send them out for a long corner.
Some great defence from OHA there, just protecting their feet, not giving an inch.
Has gone higher in the end, but it's a play on. Maddie Brooks now, can't jink and go. Regains possession though. Throws the ball up the line. Gunn now with some possession. Throws it out to Brooks again on the reverse. Can't keep it down to find her sister in the circle though. That just shows OHA's counter-attacking ability down that right-hand side with some of their youth. Derwent under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, they are so dangerous. Derwent having so much play in their attacking 50, and then in the blink of an eye, a couple of passes and OHA are away. They are very quick and they can make you pay.
Attacking 50, Michelle, I like it. It's AFL talk.
Well, I was going to say 25, but I feel like there's been a lot in the right in front of us here in the comm box. So
no, it's good. It's Chesterman over the ball now, down the line. Can't find anyone at home though. Well, the sun's out and it is raining here at the Tasmanian Hockey Centre.
I think there's a bit of snow up there on Mount Wellington. It is definitely typical Tassie conditions today. You wouldn't have it any other way for grand final day, would we?
Absolutely not. We're lucky to be here playing hockey with crowds. It's exciting. So certainly not taking this for granted. Shout out to any of our listeners around the country in lockdown. We are thinking of you. So the score remains 1-0 to OHA with less than 10 to go in this second term. But Derwent have been pressing with 6 penalty corners. Westland, can she find Hayes out wide? No, it's a great tackle there. But Derwent come up with the ball again. Westland, oh, just a bit of stop and start there. Brooks down the line, but cannot find Crombie. So it's going to be Derwent to restart again.
The midfield battle really coming out in this second quarter. We're seeing Maddie and Taylor Brooks actually both getting quite a little bit of the ball, and Eliza Westland, who I thought she was about to receive it then, but she's been very busy as well. Derwent, I think, just need to link up a little bit more going forward. They're clearly energised and really want the ball. They're earning those penalty corners, but maybe it's time for Eliza Westlands, Amelia Spence to really back themselves and drive forward into the circle and get some shots at the OHA keeper.
Cambridge to Brooks. They're two big names that OHA will want to be getting involved in this game if they're going to get another goal. Hayes running away with it on the far side though. She's been relatively quiet so far, but we know she's a proven goal scorer.
Got a really interesting contest here as we close in towards the end of the first half. We've seen OHA mostly hitting on the counter-attack and on the break, and Derwent probably having the lion's share of possession. Up around their circle, plenty of opportunities, but frustrated by the OHA defence, and Evie Dalton in the OHA net made a couple of crucial saves there, especially on that last penalty corner, got down low, prevented that ball from going in. So she's just starting to have a bit of an influence as well. And I just wonder how long this can go on with Derwent creating chances and half chances and getting no reward, as Mcleod is dumped by Java Vickery there. And the old bones just take an extra second to get back up, as Mcleod, actually she needs a little bit of extra time, a little bit winded there. The veteran Sophie Mcleod, 2009 AHL leading goal scorer, probably unlucky to have got a gig with the Hockeyroos at her height, but certainly an extremely talented player for a long time for Tasmania and for OHA. It's good to see her energised and back in this Premier League side, leading this young team to potentially another premiership.
Hayes can't keep it in, so it's going to be OHA again defending. Westland in there again, the ball's floating around. Spence, she's onto it, she's trying to just muscle her way out of defence and does so, earning a free. This game just looks like it's settled a little bit, Scott. Both teams just finding their pattern, a little bit less free space than there was in the first quarter.
Yeah, I certainly think that's a result of the energy that both teams spent in the first quarter. And as they're getting close towards the end of the half, Maddie Brooks fires it into the circle on the spot. Arriving late was Taylor Brooks. She got a good piece of it too, but it continued on its path and sprayed over the baseline. Yeah, this game is interestingly poised at the moment. Again, back in 2019, high-scoring match. We saw 9 goals. Quite a few came late in the game too, so I wouldn't be surprised if this one opens up after half-time. But I really do feel that we're starting to see OHA very comfortable with their 1-0 lead and very comfortable with their field position, and it's really up to Derwent to do something extra special to break this game apart, as Spence does attempt to break through this defence again. Again, she is harassed. Again, she's shut down initially by Sarah McCambridge. The ball spills to Maddie Brooks, puts it out to Hannah Richards, who has speed to burn, and she goes. Gets past Van Blatteren, although Van Blatteren does well to cut her line. Forces Richards back to Brooks. Brooks goes long, dangerous, high. Free hit to Derwent.
Just see the game opening up a little bit in that passage. It almost seems like when Spence and McCambridge have a bit of a run on, they create space for everyone else, and when that falls apart for whatever team, there's just a lot of space for either side moving forward. Both Brooks are starting to get into this game quite heavily, getting a lot of possession.
It's interesting to see how they used the Brooks twins, both of them playing almost advanced midfielders, inside forward type roles, doing quite a fair bit of running, covering quite a fair bit of territory, getting over the ball quite a fair bit, and we've seen them both arrive late into the circle for that cross, looking to get on the end and deflect it into goal. So they haven't necessarily had a huge influence just yet in the first half, but you can certainly see what they're trying to do, and they're going to continue to be dangerous throughout this match.
Scott, just watching Sarah McCambridge today as she, on cue, gets the ball and tries to first time, finds Brooks, who finds her way into the circle here. Can she get a result? No, she can't.
Great work from Canning, and rebounds out of defence with Rockefeller. She's got Dobby making the lead up ahead of her. Rockefeller's shut down by Chesterman. Now McLeod over the ball. Brooks. Spence does well just to knock it off her. Great work from Lauren Canning, running from deep, making that initial intercept. Not sure if that's dangerous or not, but the umpire says play on. Van Blatteren does well to make the tackle on Richards too. Wins a free hit.
Scott, I was just saying, Cambridge seems to be playing quite a defensive game today. Almost happy to just sit a little bit deeper and defend rather than attacking too much. Do you think that would be a deliberate tactic from OHA?
Oh, I think that's definitely having her play that deeper role is there to mind Spence and make sure that she doesn't really dominate that middle of the park. But I think McCambridge has the freedom to play that role because of the Brooks. Brooks is playing those inside roles, and Sophie Mcleod playing what seems to be a deeper centre forward role. So she's certainly got a lot of freedom just to hang around and almost sweep behind the midfield and clean up anything that comes through. Taylor Brooks goes long, Cotton with the intercept. Straight back to Taylor Brooks. She uses McLeod. McLeod's got Richards ahead of her. The pass isn't great, and Van Blatteren's able to pick it off. Chesterman came through for the intercept. It's fallen to McCambridge. This one's loose and gets to Westland. It's only got McDonald ahead of her, and she puts it onto McDonald's foot and plays on straight away. Emily Rockefeller. Now Amelia Spence. Just held up by Krumink. Michelle Cooling. The amount of running that Spence has done, especially in attack, we know that she's a world-class athlete, as she just shows off her little cricket skills there. Westland puts the entry in, just a little bit dangerous. Yeah, we know Spence is a world-class athlete, but how much is the amount of running that she's done in that first half going to hurt Derwent in the second half?
I think, talking about Sarah McCambridge as well, I think both of them have got fairly good tanks, but the tempo of this game is very high. It's going back and forth there's a lot of pace and skill in both these midfield groups for OHA and Derwent. So of course they are going to wear and tire, but I think the game is very evenly poised. OHA still got that 1-0 lead, but I think we're in for another ripping second half. It should be a great contest.
Well, it's halftime here, and OHA have a 1-0 lead. It was Eloise Crombie in the 11th minute. Seen Derwent have 6 or 7 penalty corners to no advantage, but certainly in for an interesting second half coming. They only really created 2 or 3 good chances in the circle compared to Derwent, who had 6 or 7 really good opportunities. So you feel like on the balance of play, Derwent probably should be in front of this. But I think if you're OHA, you're pretty happy with how things are going, to be honest. A little bit of extra water on the turf as we start this second half. Chesterman down the right-hand side getting advanced position up the pitch. Looks long too, down to the corner, looking for Richards. Featherstone back there.
Well, the sun is out now at the Tasmania Hockey Centre, and we have a good crowd down here for this women's final. Definitely the 2 best teams in this final. Certainly OHA finishing on top, but Derwent finishing late and deserving to be there as well. Hayes throws it down the line. Rockefeller's chasing but can't reel it in. 2 different paths for these teams. OHA coming straight into the final after beating Northwest Grads in the 1v2, and Derwent going the more difficult way, finishing 3rd and winning both of their finals to make it through. Having some late season form. See Brooks playing on early. Finds Mcleod, who's got a little bit of time. Bit of a foot race there between 4 or 5 players. But it's going to be Brooks over it for OHA on the far side.
And Maddie Brooks continues her attack down the left-hand side. Along the baseline. She's stopped from going any further. Hay is collecting it very deep now. Trying to link up with Spence. Can only force a free hit there. But yeah, OHA lost 2 games for the entirety of the year. One of them was against Derwent though. So I think Derwent will take a little bit of confidence from that. But it's interesting how these things play out in the grand final. Derwent have been in excellent form coming into this match. Cambridge receives it on the dotted. She's prevented from going any further, and that battle between Spence and McCambridge continues unabated. It's a free hit to OHA in that pocket, so McCambridge takes it quickly. Goes straight into the circle. Down goes Bester. Good little save from Nat Bester, well covered. She's also had a really important role in this Derwent side, Nat Bester. I think they struggled for a few years to replace her as a goalkeeper, and she was talked into coming back, and she's been brilliant since doing so. Also had, I believe, her first child just a couple of years ago too, so I think it's great to have her back in this Derwent side. A little bit of extra experience as well in that defence. Canning puts the ends around, fouls Rockefeller on a reverse, turns to a 4-stick and puts it just past the left-hand post. And Evie Dalton was in all sorts of trouble there as Rockefeller turned her defender and had a free shot on the circle.
Well, as we look to the replay there, Scott, what a ball in from Canning, and Rockefeller just with the ability to trap and put it perfectly where she wanted. The turn and the shot just wide. So that is another missed opportunity there for Derwent. But what a trap and control from Rockefeller in the circle. It's very, very exciting to see such a young talent with the ball on a string.
Yeah, Emily Rockefeller left Georgina Carter for dead and just fired that shot wide. So good sign for Derwent early on to see Emily get a chance inside the circle in the second half so early. Again, Emily, younger sister of Sophie Rockefeller, who's a 2019 Tassie Tigers player and was a star for this Derwent side until about a month ago when she left for the US for study opportunities. So again, I imagine that Sophie will be tuned in right now watching along. So again, another shout out to Sophie. Hopefully you can see your sister score a goal in a grand final today.
Scott, I think as you mentioned earlier, OHA only lost 2 games all season. So whilst Derwent will be disappointed going down 1-0, being down 1-0 at half-time, they'll also be buoyed that they've had so many chances to score and are only 1-0 down. So they're right in this game. I think they'll be looking at the positives, and that's what Coach Torren Bester will be saying. As Rockefeller has a bit of a chance in the circle and earns a penalty corner there. Looks like it was for a stick check, and wow, Derwent really continue to push into this second half of hockey. If we look at the replay there, just looked like a bit of a hack and gone through Rockefeller's stick, earning the penalty corner. So Michelle cooling, Derwent continuing to push and probably having the best of it in this first part of the third term.
Yeah, they're looking impressive going forward. Another penalty corner. The numbers, surely one's got to go in. I've said it 3 times, up to number 7 for them. But yeah, some really good ball movement going forward, and another penalty corner for Derwent.
Spence injects. Looks like it's trying to go back to the injector, but Krumik with the intercept. Powerful stuff. Westland now turns. Look what she's got in front of her. Does well to earn the free. So well defended there from OHA, but they're not out of trouble yet, with Westland over it on the dotted. Out wide, Cotton finds a way to the circle. Can she find a short? She puts it across the face though, but can only find the outside sideboard. So OHA live again to fight another day. It's hard to believe that they're 1-0 up in this third term.
Derwent are creating some really good opportunities through Lauren Canning in the start of this second half. Been really impressed by her speed going forward, just being able to cut those angles and find those high forwards. Talked about Rockefeller looping around the back there. She was unlucky not to put one in the back of the net, but you could see when she received that, I think she thought about going on the back stick, and then I think she did the right thing, but just slightly missed the angle. Molly Hayes on the ball now, very slick skills. Another one who you can just see these people, these players get involved. Molly Hayes, Amelia Spence, Eliza Westland, Lauren Canning. A goal will go in at some point.
Well, here is Westland showing some pace down the left-hand side, earns the free. Michelle is an experienced premiership player for Northwest 3 times, and you've probably played in a few more grand finals than that. When does the pressure start to get to deal with it? They're having so many opportunities, and they can't seem to get one away. With 77 penalty corners, they must be wondering, when's it going to happen?
I think, obviously, they're going to be frustrated, but they're still keeping at it. Exhibit A right then. That was a great tackle by Lauren Canning, and their intensity. It's so noticeable, and they're really hammering at their attacking 25. And you know, I've been in, I think my first premiership I won 2009. We played Canterbury. The girl over the ball now, Amelia Spence, was playing for Canterbury at the time, but we dominated the game, and they got an equalising goal with 5 minutes to go, and I just remember thinking, how can how can we be in this position? And I think we had the mindset to just keep going, and we ended up winning with 17 seconds to go. So I think Derwent, here they go again. Emily Rockefeller.
Oh, Rockefeller just couldn't find the foot in the circle and couldn't find any obstruction. Good call from the umpire, letting it play. And now OHA, thought they were out on the far side, but it's Derwent. They're going to come away with it. Hayes now cuts inside. Can't get through the feet of OHA though. Restarting again. Oh, and that pass just unfortunately past the outstretched arms of Bailey.
The Derwent forwards are very busy up there. Another Emily Rockefeller again. I think she kind of hesitated. She wasn't sure again. She's gone back stick and then fore stick. And I mean, grand finals pressure. I'm not going to be out here saying what she should or shouldn't have done, but she's very busy up there. So I think OHA need to be wary of that. She's floating in behind the defenders as OHA come up the other end now.
Oh, good interception there from Maddock. She was the last line of defence there, and managed to get in between the ball and Eloise Crombie, who would have been away. And now it's Derwent. We've got Dobby. She's shown a lot of class and style and composure in this final series. Out to Westland. What she got in front of her, it's a good tackle from Chesterman though, just holding her up. She's got to get 5 now. Westland auto plays. There's not too much in the circle. She does find Hayes, who doesn't need much of an opportunity. Gets the shot away, but seemed like there was a bit of an interception there, and well dealt with Bester over the baseline for a Derwent long corner.
A path to goal just really opened up there in that nice channel, and Eliza saw that it was there. And the good thing about these Derwent strikers, they have no fear shooting on their reverse or their 4 stick. So no matter which side of the circle they're entering, they will back themselves to have a crack. And Molly didn't quite get on the end of that one. But for her sake, hopefully one will connect at some point.
Yes. One of the last people I would want to be facing on their back stick in the circle is Molly Hayes. Very, very tidy striker. Doesn't waste too many opportunities. And it was only some good defensive work from OHA that kept her from getting a good shot away. OHA just giving the ball away a little carelessly again, but one back by Chesterman in the midfield. She's got a little bit of space in front of her. Van Blatteren does what she does so well and just gets in the way to stop that momentum.
Yeah, Harry, we've seen Derwent create plenty of opportunities and plenty of runs towards the circle. Every single time they get towards the 23, they seem to be shut down by one of these OHA defenders. So I think special mention so far has to go to this OHA defence because they've been very good at frustrating this Derwent side. Spence picks it up from deep in midfield. She wants to go for a run. And there's Sarah McCambridge chasing it down once again. This time Spence wins it. Uses Hayes out on the right this time. Great ball from Hayes in towards the circle. Saltmarsh just wrong-footed. Just a split second, maybe slower to figure out which way that ball was going. And she might have been interfered with by the defender too. I think she threw up her hands there as if to say that Carter might have made some physical contact away from the ball, but OHA survive again. Derwent looking very dangerous this quarter though.
It's an interesting one just to keep an eye on Sarah McCambridge. Just a couple of times she's come from behind and laid tackles that have just been just okay from the umpires, but it'll be interesting to see how their patient goes as the game goes on. It's Bailey on this left-hand side. She's got Dobby up in front. Goes to Westland instead. Good possession. Bailey's going to recycle now. Derwent looking composed over the ball. Maddock with a little bit of space looks up, but unfortunately cannot connect with the pass. So Derwent again unable to break through this OHA defence. And I tell you who's been immense from that OHA defence today. It's been Krumik. She has been a brick wall back there, and nothing has been getting through her at all.
No, and I think people are always surprised when you say Belle Krumik is still only 15 years old. And she's an absolute out-and-out superstar in the competition. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see her as part of the Tigers setup or even part of the Hockey Roos setup in the not-too-distant future. Maddie Brooks shut down by the veteran Claire Saltmarsh, who scored the winning goal in the 2019 Grand Final between these two sides. Wanted to feed Hayes. Hayes starting to see some of those tackles come in a little bit stronger now, Michelle, and I wonder just how much longer the umpires are going to keep the cards in the pocket.
Yeah, there's been a few, call them agricultural challenges the last few, and I thought Jeevesy may have reached into a pocket then, but she's letting him go. Fair play. But yeah, the girls will probably just have to, I reckon they're on their last warning now, but it just shows how much both teams want this contest. They want to be stopping these runs, and it's such a hard-fought contest out there. Derwent just have had so much play, and as you said, credit to this OHA defence who have just stood so strong. Derwent haven't been able to get through. Even they haven't forced too many penalty corners this quarter, so I'm sure that was something that Sam McCambridge and Larry Mills would have mentioned to the OHA defence, and they've had a couple of chances, but I think they had about 4 or 5 in that second quarter, so they're standing strong, and the fact that one of their key defenders is 15 years old blows my mind a little bit, but her and Belle and Georgie Carter back there are doing a great job.
Good ball from Brooks down to McLeod. Tries to play in Maddie Brooks. A little bit of a jink, but she's held up by Jess Cotton. Bailey allowed to play on. Uses Westland. Now Spence with space. She can go. Immediately you see Brooks and McCambridge chasing her. Krumik comes out to try and meet her too. Stops her run, but it'll be a free hit on the sideline. Spence goes straight away, quickly inside too. This time it's Gunn holding her up. Into the circle. Hayes skipping through, but it was the third person obstruction. Umpiring has been brilliant today too. We've got Casey Ponting and Nicole Jeeves out there officiating this match, and they've allowed the match to flow, and they've kept things relatively under control. We've said we might see a few cards if some of the tackles get worse as this game wears on, but so far the officiating has been absolutely brilliant and allowed for a pretty open game too.
I think that's always important. You don't want to notice the umpires, especially in a grand final, and we've got two of the best out here today. I'm not sure how many Casey's done, but Nicole Jeeves has played in and officiated plenty, so I think she's well and truly aware the role the umpires play, and as you said, Scott, they're doing a great job. And you know, umpiring at the best of times is never fun, but when you're doing a grand final with so many emotions, you've got clubs in tents on the hill yelling at you, and a packed grandstand, I think they're doing a great job.
Especially it's still a 1-0 game, and there is plenty still to come in this match. Hayes, trap, turn, into the circle. Good work from Rockefeller too, puts it onto the foot, wins the penalty corner. One more penalty corner for this Derwent side. I was going to say earlier, Louise Maddock has had a really, really good game in the heart of the Derwent defence, and what would really cap off her 3 quarters so far would be a goal from her penalty corner. She does have an excellent penalty corner strike, and we haven't seen it today.
I'd love to see a goal from Lou. I actually coached Lou in under 12s and under 14s at Northwest Grads. It makes me feel very old watching her now, and you know, she moved to Derwent for opportunities, but it's great to see skill level evolve.
It's Westland with the fling to the back post, diving in was Rockefeller. She got a good touch on it, straight into the body of the OHA defender, and Derwent will have to reset for another penalty corner.
I think Jess Tremaine had a arm up then, thinking it might have been a penalty stroke, but Nicole Jeeves clarifying with her that just the corner for that one, and she was happy to accept it.
Spence injects again. Again, it's Westland. Goes with a jack strike. Good save from Dalton. Follow up from Westland. She's forced wide by Mcleod. Puts it back to the spot, and it goes flying over the baseline. And Derwent, you feel like they're getting ever closer, and you just wonder for how much longer this can go on.
Have Derwent broken a mirror or something? I feel like they've had so many chances, and we've still got another quarter to go, so anything could happen in this one.
Well, an absolutely fascinating 3 quarters so far here in the Women's 2021 Premier League Hockey Grand Final between Derwent and OHA. So Westland just giving a passionate speech to her side too, trying to rev up the troops. She's been super impressive since coming back this year. She did play in that 2019 Grand Final, spent 2020 playing AFL, and then came back to a better sport, playing hockey. But she's been fantastic for Derwent this season, and we see her taking on a leadership role, trying to rev up the troops for a big final quarter.
Yeah, Eliza's been around long enough to know just how big these moments are. You know, you spend your whole year out here on a Tuesday and Thursday nights, very cold temperatures. It all comes down to this last 15 minutes, and they are coming Derwent. So strap yourselves in, everyone.
Had plenty of opportunities in this match. Surely one of them go in. Pressure really has been all on OHA this match, but they do hold a 1-0 lead. Taylor Brooks receiving wide on the right. Fellow number 40, Beth Dobby for Derwent, comes and chases her down. Now Carter centrally. Carter hasn't really had a whole lot to do this match. We saw her get beaten once or twice by some of the younger speedsters from Derwent, but it hasn't cost their side anything. And if anything, her experience and that defence has really held that group together so far this match. Harry Vanderwood, your thoughts? We've got 15 minutes to go. Can you see a path for Derwent getting back into this match?
Oh, Scott, I'm a little bit nervous for Derwent. You say, you know, there's so many chances. Sometime soon they'll have to break through, but now there's just 15 minutes to go. So, you know, that's not going to hold up forever. They've got to make it happen now. We can't be waiting around too much more. If you're in the Derwent side, someone has to have that impact. Westland has been huge all day. Can it be her? Rockefeller's had a few chances. Spence running through the midfield. So, you know, they've been stepping up, but we just need a little bit more from Derwent if they're going to crack through that circle. OHA, they're going to look for that counter-attack goal. They're going to sag back, defend, let the Brooks and McCambridge run away with it, and see if they can score that second goal that will probably put Derwent away. So we're in for a very, very exciting fourth quarter. Premier League final, grand final women's hockey here, as Hayes can't reel that one in for Derwent.
Ellie McDonald bring this ball back in. Shout out to her parents, two massive stars of the Tasmanian hockey scene for a long, long time, Vanessa and Andrew. They'll be watching on, proudly seeing their daughter play in a grand final. It's a bit of a family tradition. They've normally got one kid playing in a grand final on this day. Two very talented young children who I believe Tyler certainly played for the Australian under-17 side. He's got a big future ahead of him, and young Ellie can't be too far away from higher honours herself.
No family holidays, family trips in the September holidays when it's finals time.
I think just like my family, family holidays were based around where the national championships were being held that year. Crombie wanted to get that ball into the circle. She had Wilson Haffenden breaking in. Brooks takes it quickly. Well, she wasn't allowed to continue either, and Westland actually wins that contest.
Yeah, good work from the Derwent defence there. There was a 2-on-1, but Cotton just able to get a foot involved and not allow that ball to slide throughout the back. So really smart defensive work from Derwent. But that's an example of what OHA are going to be doing, Scott. They're going to try and absorb that pressure and then explode out with pace and power and numbers and really overwhelm Derwent's defence. So it's the same game plan both teams have had all game, so we have to see what comes up trumps in this fourth quarter.
It's interesting that you mentioned game plan, because we haven't actually noticed too many changes to the way these teams started the match. So anything that the coaches are changing, it must be pretty subtle, because you get the feeling that both these sides would be relatively happy with how the match has gone, bar for the scoreboard.
Yeah, certainly. I think it's a good sign that both teams and both coaches are confident to win the game based on their game plan. So, you know, if it stays this way for another 8 minutes or so, we might see some changes, especially from Derwent if they're a goal down. But at this stage, coaches having faith in their plans, their structure to get the job done, which I think will fill both teams with a lot of confidence. So just a momentary pause here. Both teams will enjoy having a deep breath. Canning over it, finds a way through where there wasn't one, gives it to Spence. She's got a little bit of space, but McCambridge is hot on her tail. Goes to ground, but nothing in it, so it's going to be a McCambridge ball, and she plays on quickly. Jinks past Bailey in the shadows. She's got a few options in front of her. Unfortunately, it cannot be reeled in. Well, we're joined by Michelle Cooling up in the commentary box. Michelle, looks like an absolute ripper day out there now.
It does. You wouldn't know that it feels like about minus 10-degree winds. But no, hopefully the sun stays out. There's a chance here for OHA, who have earned a penalty corner themselves. So that's number 3 for them. And a chance to go to 2-0 here with under 10 minutes to go.
Brooks just played on really quickly and got the ball into the circle, which is such a valuable thing to do, and caught the Derwent defence napping, did Gunn. And OHA with a huge opportunity to go 2-0 up in this fourth term. And you say, obviously anything can happen, but 2 goals to nil, and Derwent have been struggling to score. It's a big opportunity, so here you go OHA, and it's Krumik with a hit. Oh, and a good save there. Krumik again, though, with a hit. Canning, though, with bravery, but it's going to be another OHA penalty corner, and unfortunately for OHA, the ball did go in, but after the whistle there, so they're going to have to go back and do it all over again. But an impressive bit of goalkeeping from Bester, who saved the Krumik hit. It's going to be Krumik again by the looks of it. Good save again from Bester. Can't clear it though. Brooks is shooting. Oh, and another good save. Not sure if that was Bester or Westland on the
I think it was Maddox on the Oh,
Looks like it's gone wide. It's going to be a Derwent restart.
Some great defence at the back there by the whole defensive penalty corner defence unit there from Derwent. So they can breathe again and try go up the other end and earn their own. I think they're up to penalty corner 10-ish.
Yes,
So
demoralising to concede after you haven't scored from
10
penalty corners. Best to keeping them in it. That's Derwent can take some inspiration out of that desperate defending, keeping them in the game, and that could be a story later on if Derwent can find that equaliser. Westland to Rockefeller. Good strength. Keeps possession. Such a plucky player is Rockefeller. You see her in the warm-up, but she's always got a smile on her face and has got a lot of confidence. So I'm sure she'll be living up to this big moment with less than 10 minutes to go now in this grand final. Bailey on the ball. Finds Westland. Westland will definitely be in contention for player of the game. But it's Brooks running away with it now for OHA.
It's a great ball through to Julie Gunn, who's pretty quick. So just Cotton just gets in a way, uses all those games of experience to make that tackle at the back there. She's someone that, no doubt, if you're out in the crowd, you'd be able to hear Jess talking these last 8 minutes, trying to wheel her side on. She's got a very young team, a young forward line. She's at the back and will be directing them. Just gives the ball to Spence here.
No whistle though for Spence, so OHA attack now. Brooks can't find a way into the circle, reverse 6 shot, but there has been a foot before. And Michelle Cooling, I'm wondering how much longer do you think it'll be before we see a tactical change from Derwent?
It's a hard one because it's not like they're doing too much wrong, are they? They just cannot put the ball in the back of the net. To OHA's credit, in this final quarter, they've probably had a bit more of the ball. So they've had a little bit more momentum going forward. They've got obviously the 1-0 lead though, so they can play with a little bit more freedom. That's a great ball. Rockefeller attacking the 25.
Krumik again though, just shuts the door on Rockefeller and then just plays the ball out. Lovely work there from Krumik. We've talked about her before. She has been a brick wall all game today.
Yeah, that was a great ball. Really cut through the lines of defence, but nothing will get past Krumik today, sorry. She's having a fantastic game at the back, and if OHA managed to hang on here, I've just put the mockers on her.
Toscas, Rockefeller can't find a way through though. Bit of a scrimmage, a lot of body use from both teams. Umpires leaving the whistles away though. Hayes can't find any room, gets it back again and earns the free. She's been gutsy all day as well, a little bit quiet. Not this lady though, Westland striving through the midfield. Oh, and unfortunately it's hit the foot of a Derwent player. It was Saltmarsh in the circle, just couldn't get her stick to it, and it has hit her in the foot. And again, I don't know how many times we've said it, but OHA survived another Derwent attack.
I don't know if Sam McCambridge has been doing his own attacking drills at the OHA defence this week, but there's not much has been able to get through them, and they've just stood so strong. Derwent are throwing everything they've got. I think we're seeing the best of Derwent, but they just cannot put the ball in the back of the net, and they've got 6 more minutes to equal things here.
That's right, just around 6 minutes to go in this Women's Premier League Hockey Grand Final. OHA are up 1-0, and they're going to be looking to just keep composure, keep the ball under control, make sure they're not turning it over to any of Derwent's elite midfield. Yeah, mate. Oh, and there is Chesterman, unlucky not to get a penalty corner. They're just outside. So OHA still providing some attack as Brooks pumps it into the circle. It's to her sister. Brooks on the other side puts it. Oh no, it's just gone wide. Oh, I thought that was in, Scott. I thought that was in the back of the net, the sealer, but no.
Yep, certainly thought that one was the sealer. We see Brooks to Brooks, and Maddie just put it wide, which in the position that she was in, you would have thought that was in. I still recall her grand final winning goal from last year, where it was late in the match. She found herself with a bit of space on the top of the circle and tomahawked it into the back of the net, so certainly shades of that just there. Chance to seal it, really. Derwent now with a chance to go forward. This is Dobby again. Cuts into the circle. Rockefeller, bit heavy on Chesterman. Ball is played on. Gunn against Maddock. Plays it out. Unlucky to make anything from that one, and we are seeing a bit of a change. Derwent have made the signal, and Nat Bester has left the goals for Derwent, and they've sent on an extra striker. It's Java Vickery who's gone way up forward in an attempt to steal an equalising goal.
Yeah, interesting this for Derwent. They've been pushing so well all game, but the danger is, and always has been with this OHA team, the turnover. They are so effective with a fast break on the turnover. So Derwent are going to have to watch this, but there's not enough time to do anything else. So it's the only tactic left for them, the extra field player.
That ball falls nicely for Macaulay and plays it out nicely for Gunn, who's got an empty net to shoot at. She does. Oh, and it's a fantastic touch from Jana van Bladeren to send it wide and save Derwent for another couple of minutes.
How Van Bladeren has not put that in the back of her own net. What a touch there. I don't really understand how she's done it, but what a save. Great desperation. Oh, but that's gone in. It's an OHA goal. The deflection has gone in. And Scott, that you would think is the sealer for OHA. 2-0 with just over 3 minutes to go. I didn't see who the goal scorer was.
Julia Gunn.
Julia Gunn. She is dangerous. Top goal scorer this year for Women's Premier League Hockey. And we just see that classy finish there. And time running out here for Derwent.
Yeah, that stings. They have been really good all game. They took the risk and brought off their goalkeeper to get the extra forward, and it's come back to bite them, unfortunately, with Gunn just sneaking in towards the spot and taking a nice, easy deflection to score what is potentially the sealing goal for OHA.
Well, it could be a game of if, buts, and maybe for Derwent, unfortunately. Just have not been able to break through this OHA defence. Now, we've seen it happen before. There is just under 3 minutes to go, so it wouldn't be an easy thing to do, but we have seen it happen before here at the Tasmanian Hockey Centre in Premier League Hockey. But OHA firmly in control now, and they're going to start to just try and wind the clock down. Spence, though, with a good tackle, gives Hayes a chance in behind. Yes, it looks like it's going to be a card here. McCambridge, probably some experience there, just with a little bit of a body tackle. She has a look at the clock as she runs off. Just a little bit of experience showing perhaps there, Scott.
Yeah, we might not see McCambridge for the rest of the game now, because I think that was pretty close on the 2-minute limit. She's been given a green, which is a 2-minute penalty, so that might be it for McCambridge's day, but she's been one of the best afield. McCambridge has played an absolutely pivotal role in that OHA midfield, holding off the likes of Spence and Westland. Both of them have had brilliant games, and McCambridge has just been able to put the extra pressure on them and slow them down in crucial moments just to curb their influence.
Yeah, you're right. She won't necessarily have the biggest game on the stat sheet, as we see Hayes running around the back. Only wins a long corner. Won't have the biggest game on the stat sheet, but her influence just calming and being a defensive player has been huge today with her role. Spence reverse into the circle. Back of the stick, says the umpire, though. So OHA with possession. Krumik now. She's been massive all day. Hit out of defence. Crowd getting excited as she nearly hits Spence. Oh, it's a bit of push and shove there between Krumik and Rockefeller. That's interesting.
Two of the young guns of the competition just letting their feelings known. Probably great friends off the field, but in a grand final, not taking a backward step. Spence still wants to continue on with it. Out comes Maddie Brooks to make the initial tackle and slow them down once again. As the clock clicks down, there is not too much time left in this match at all. Spence sends it into the circle, and you think Derwent struggled to score one goal so far, and I think it might be a bit too much of an ask to get two.
Yeah, look, we've talked about Derwent all day with opportunities, but it's OHA's defence that has stood tall all day. Krumik over the ball now has been immense. Out to Brooks. They're just going to try and dump this up the line, waste a little bit of time. There it is, the final siren in the 2021 Women's Premier League Hockey Grand Final, and it is OHA 2 to Derwent 0. OHA the Premiers, the form team of the season. and you'd say justly premiers after that game. Derwent with chances all day, just could not sink one though, and OHA with a polished performance and a 2-0 victory.
Absolutely brilliant from OHA. They've gone back-to-back. 2 premierships in a row. This young side is, well, it's almost a dynasty now. They just need one more, and I think we can lock that in. Funnily enough, it's also OHA Women's 10th premiership in the last 20 years. They have been one of the dominant forces in women's hockey for a long time, and they've got a frighteningly talented young side coming through, so there's probably plenty more to come.
You're absolutely right, Scott. 10 premierships in 20 years is dominance over the competition, and it is exciting to see them win another premiership. And I tell you what, it doesn't look like it's going to be coming to an end anytime soon. Michelle Cooling, what a game we've just witnessed there between the two sides. Probably closer than 2-0, but OHA with a very complete performance and come out winners. What were your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I think everyone that is here at the Hockey Centre today would appreciate the level of hockey that everyone got to witness. And, you know, OHA is such a highly skilled and, while a young team, also have that experience, and I really feel like it was that mix of youth and experience. Eloise Crombie getting that goal early, that scoreboard pressure, and then Derwent, they can be so proud of their game today. They probably won't take, you know, they'll be wanting to hold that cup up, but what a game from them. They really had a fantastic back end to the season, and to come so close today. They had so many penalty corner chances and quite a few shots on goal, but they'll bounce back for sure. They've got some very talented players in their lineup as well, but credit to OHA. Well done to Sarah and Sam McCambridge, the coaches, and as Scotty said, Sarah had a great game today, and I think across the park, all lines across OHA, they can be very proud of their efforts and celebrate a 10th premiership in 20 years, which is a record that many clubs would be very envious of.
They certainly would be. Michelle Cooling, 3-time Premiership Northwest player, giving you her thoughts there on the game. As we can see, OHA there, the victors today with 2-0 over Derwent. We're going to leave you briefly with some highlights, and then we'll come back for the presentation. Welcome back to the Tasmanian Hockey Centre. We can see our Premier League.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Tasmanian Hockey Centre. My name is Damien Smith, CEO of Hockey Tasmania. Just like to acknowledge and pay respect to the Tasmanian Aboriginal community as the traditional and original owner and continuing custodian of this land. I welcome the Attorney General, Elise Archer, today. So, Elise, thanks for coming along. Elise has been a great supporter of hockey over a number of years and an ex-player. Trying to get her to play again, but not quite got her over the line. I'd like to also welcome the Chair of Hockey Tasmania, Ken Reid, Mark Purcell, Tournament Director of the Southern Hockey League. Mark's done a great job this year. Thanks, Mark. So I've got Sarah Castley, Derwent Hockey Club President, Alyssa Marmion, President of OHA. I'd like to invite Ken to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Damien. Madam Attorney, thank you very much for coming, watching the game again. I've just been watching the game with Elise. She was extremely impressed with the skills of both teams, although she did remark that she thought she could easily get a game. So it's about time, Elise, you came out and played. It was a great game. It was really, really hard fought. Derwent, a few converted corners might have helped, particularly in that first half. It was a great effort from you. From OHA, there's some wonderful players out there, tremendous, and I'm really, really happy to see a female coach, Sarah. It's tremendous for the coach, for the culture of our game that we have females who are coaching. And that takes me to the umpires, because this year again, last year we didn't have 2 females, this year we have 2 females, and it's absolutely brilliant to see that we have females who are umpiring. You both did a brilliant job. And I have absolutely no doubt that you, with others who have in the past, can umpire men's Premier League teams. And I'd love to be here next year or the year after when one of you is umpiring the men's Premier League final. So, ladies and gentlemen, join me in congratulating both teams in the final. Thank you very much.
Okay. We'd just like to acknowledge both umpires for the game, Nicole Jude and Casey Ponting. Great job, guys, really good. And May is going to present them both with the medallion for today. I'd also like to invite Pat Hood to present an encouragement. Jenny, Young. So, Jenny, I'd like you to present the Encouragement Award to Philip de Brigley, please. Thank you. Okay. I'd also like to acknowledge Tim Strapp here, who's the new head coach of which is great to have Tim commence. Please make yourself known to Tim. It's good to have him start. I'd like to now invite Captain of Derwent to say a few words.
Amelia Spence, Captain of Derwent. Sorry, out of Ladderan.
Just firstly like to thank our sponsors, Valhalla, Alcom and Cabbages. And also, can we all give a massive applause to OHA again. You guys deserve the win today. You just kept going and we just couldn't convert the goals, so big congrats. And secondly, everyone in the team, I'm so proud of each and every one of you. Next year is our season. Let's keep our heads up high and let's just go out and enjoy the rest of the evening, okay? All right, proud of you.
I'd like to ask coach of OHA to come, Sarah, or who's going to come up and say some words? Georgie?
Yeah, thanks guys, good job team. I'd like to thank OHA sponsors, umpires, match managers, Hockey Taz. I'm probably going to forget people, obviously our coaches, our manager Richard and Derwent, really hard game today. Thank you for a battle, but the ships are sailing.
Thanks, Georgie. So we might present, I'll get Elise to present the best player today, and the best player of the grand final is Belle Krumik. And if I can now ask Georgie, or do you want to come back and name your players and we'll present some medallions? Yeah, we'll ask Mark and the attorney to present those. So we can have someone name the players. Thanks, Sarah.
Georgie Carter. Isabel Krumik. Sophie Mcleod. Hannah Richards. Taylor Brooks. Ellie McDonald. Madison Brooks. Sarah Wilson-Haffenden. Eloise Crombie. Bree McCauley. Julia Gunn. Jessica Chesterman. Amber Sargent. Evie Dalton. Alyssa Marmion. Larry Mills. Sam McCambridge. Richard Gunn. Sarah McCambridge.
So I'll get the attorney to present the 2021 Premier League Women's Grand Final Trophy to OHA.
Ian. Girl Premix.
Yeah.
You've won a back-to-back premiership, also player of the match. How does it feel right now?
Feels amazing, feels surreal. I'm so thankful for all our coaches, my team. They're such a lovely bunch and it's so good to get that second win.
And you had an awesome game yourself, really strong in that defence.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, how big was it having all those attackers coming at you and being able to hold up on the biggest day?
They were very strong and we knew that we had a big fight to come up against too today, but I'm glad we held them out as a defensive group and everyone in our whole team, so it was really good to get that win.
Well, you've had an awesome season and had an awesome grand final. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.